I'm Andre Sardone and I create sculpture out of mainly recycled and reclaimed materials. I live surrounded by the Greater Bendigo National Park and I'm very inspired by the nature and the birds and the creatures that inhabit this area. A lot of the skills I've learnt in my trade as a roof plumber I utilise in my artwork, but I also have learnt a whole lot of new skills, a lot of metalworking skills, and also looking at things like anatomy of birds and stuff now, so I'm starting to study the animals and the creatures around here. For me, it's just something natural that I see something and I want to make that. I want to make something like that. And I don't know what drives other people, but it's just something natural that comes to me. This here is like a horse bridle. I use it in a few pieces and like you wouldn't know it, but this part of the bridle is up here, so this piece can actually turn. A lot of my work has some sort of movement in it, whether it's activated by the wind, on springs, or by the birds. There's something about moving things that I find fascinating. It's always a constant battle that if something can move in one of my pieces, I'd like it to move. And it takes a lot more time and precision to get things to move, but it's so satisfying to have something a little bit extra. Like it can be something quite hidden. Like a lot of my work has a handle and people just discover it. They find the handle and they walk up and they turn the handle, I don't know what's going to happen, and then all of a sudden something happens, and it's very satisfying to watch that process, that discovery, and sort of takes you back to your childhood a little bit, you know? See if there's anything new and interesting.
Yeah, I've got the motorbike frame and some springs and stuff over there if you want to come over and look.
Okay.
No worries.
I support my practice by doing some roof plumbing. I think I've always seen the materials I use for my trade. I look at the waste I've produced there and have always wanted to do something with it. And sometimes I just see a piece of steel and it just triggers something in me that I think, well, that's the heart of this next piece. And there's some beautiful old pieces of steel out there that I like to preserve. So this is the inside of a clothes dryer, which I get from the recycling yard. From there, I cut that out with a grinder. So this pile of sheets here are all from the clothes dryers. And then I can just cut that with snips. I should be wearing gloves. I get a lot of satisfaction out of using materials that are seen as waste. I love repurposing, I like fixing things. I try and run my art practice sustainably. It takes time to collect my waste and straighten it out or clean it up, but I get such satisfaction out of turning it into something that it wasn't destined for. So this piece here, this is all stainless steel from the clothes dryer drums, and I've attached it to some springs from a sofa bed. The wind moves it and the light reflects from it, and it also makes some noises sometimes. They clang a little bit, so even my abstract work is inspired by nature, like the pods and some grasses and seeds. So this piece here is just based on one of the native grasses we have here. It's like this piece here. I just really like the way that it moves in the wind and shimmers and reflects the light. I find all the nature very inspiring. Yeah, I like to incorporate it into my artwork. A lot of my work is comprised of componentry and pieces of machines that people might identify, and at some of my exhibitions I have old engineers or farmers come up and recognise the pieces, and brings a bit of nostalgia to them, I think. I've got part of an old sunbeam harvester out there that I've incorporated in a piece, and it still moves, and I think that was destined for the scrap heap, so the fact that I can incorporate it into an artwork is very satisfying. I find art to be very therapeutic. I think it's something that I feel compelled to do. There are a lot of people out there, I think, who feel a barrier between their practice and making it in the in the art world. I'm just going to keep knocking on those doors, creating artwork and trying my best to get it to go as far as it can.